For many Americans, the dream of a comfortable life is becoming harder to achieve. Rising housing costs, expensive everyday living, and the search for a better work-life balance are making more people look beyond their borders for new possibilities. Around the world, there are countries where Americans can enjoy beautiful surroundings, safe communities, quality healthcare, and a comfortable lifestyle while spending far less than they would in many parts of the United States. But finding the right place is not just about low costs, it is about opportunity, stability, and a future where you can truly thrive. In this video, I'll take you through 10 countries where Americans can live better for half the cost. Some of these countries are already popular among Americans, while others remain hidden opportunities waiting to be discovered. Let's start. At number 10, Malaysia. Almost nobody back home seriously considers Malaysia a destination, and that quiet obscurity is doing you a favor. Fewer Americans chasing the same handful of good apartments means prices stay honest. Kuala Lumpur runs on a strange, satisfying mix of glass towers and street-level chaos. Night markets, mosques, temples, and shopping malls stacked within a few blocks of each other, and the private hospitals there could pass for five-star hotels if nobody told you otherwise. The weather stays warm and humid year-round, with a rainy season that arrives in short, dramatic bursts rather than the miserable all-day drizzle you'd get somewhere further north. Daily life moves at an easy pace, and English carries you through business meetings, grocery runs, and doctor's appointments without a second thought, since it sits alongside Malay, Mandarin, and Tamil as a language everyone actually uses. Tech, finance, and engineering roles stay genuinely in demand for anyone still working remotely or locally. The honest catch is property ownership. Foreigners can buy, but every state sets its own minimum purchase price, and Malaysia's tax treatment of foreign income shifts depending on your residency status, which means a cross-border tax advisor earns their fee here fast. Penang, on the island side, hands you beaches and a food scene locals will happily argue about for hours, while Kuala Lumpur delivers the hospitals and infrastructure of a genuine capital city. A single American can live comfortably here on roughly $600 a month, excluding rent, with a one-bedroom apartment running $300 to $500. Residency comes through Malaysia. My second home program is a renewable long-stay visa that can stretch out for years without forcing anyone to reapply every 12 months. Number 9. Vietnam. 5 years ago, nobody outside the backpacker crowd was seriously talking about retiring here. And now this is one of the fastest growing destinations for Americans, specifically chasing value without giving up comfort along the way. The country stretches along a coastline dotted with beach towns, mountain regions in the north that get genuinely cold in winter, and a south that stays tropical every month of the year. So whatever climate you're chasing usually sits within a short domestic flight. Hanoi carries centuries of history through its old quarter, narrow streets packed with motorbikes and coffee shops on every corner, while Ho Chi Minh City feels like a modern Asian metropolis learning to sprint before it's finished growing. Life moves fast in the cities and slows down dramatically the moment you step into smaller towns like Hoi An or Da Nang, where a retiree or couple can live comfortably on $1,000 to $1,500 total each month, rent fully included. Healthcare has developed quickly, with private hospitals staffed by internationally trained doctors, with a routine consultation rarely breaking $20. The honest challenge is there's no dedicated retirement visa here, so most Americans settle in on renewable business or investor visas, which means more paperwork touchpoints stretched across the years than some people expect going in. Social Security isn't taxed locally, though the US still claims its share of worldwide income no matter where the mailbox sits. The food alone is a reason many people fall in love with Vietnam: fresh, flavorful, affordable, and found almost everywhere you go. After spending a month enjoying this quality of life at a fraction of the cost, returning to American prices can feel like stepping backward rather than coming home. Number 8. Colombia. Medellin has spent the better part of a decade rebuilding its image from the ground up, and the city that greets you today bears almost no resemblance to the one from old headlines everyone remembers. Sitting inside a mountain valley, the elevation gives it something close to a permanent spring, mid-70s most days. The climate is one of its biggest advantages, offering comfortable summers and mild winters that make everyday life enjoyable year-round. The metro system stays clean, cheap, and genuinely used by locals rather than sitting half-empty for show, and a one-bedroom apartment in a nice neighborhood runs $600 to $900 a month. Total monthly living costs for a single person average around $646, roughly half of what comparable American spending looks like in most mid-sized cities. Colombia's healthcare system regularly ranks among the strongest anywhere in Latin America, and private coverage for expats costs a fraction of an American premium. Here's what doesn't get said enough in the polished version of this story. Safety varies significantly by neighborhood and by city. This isn't a country where you close your eyes and pick a spot off a map. Areas like Poblado and Medellin or the historic walled center of Cartagena carry large, established expat populations specifically because they're the safer, more walkable choices that generations of newcomers have already stress-tested through trial and error. Colombia issues a migrant visa for anyone showing steady income or savings, and the approval process has sped up considerably over the past couple of years as the country leans harder into courting remote workers and retirees alike. If you're enjoying this journey so far, take a moment to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and press the bell icon so you never miss any hidden place for affordable living. We have many more guides coming about the best countries, opportunities, and lifestyles around the world. Let's continue. Number 7, Philippines. Spread across more than 7,000 islands, this is a rare destination where language barely factors into the decision at all. English functions as a co-official language, is taught from grade school onward, and is spoken fluently in business, healthcare, and casual conversation without hesitation. Skip Manila's priciest pockets, Makati and BGC, where rents climb toward $1,000, and head instead toward Cebu City, where a modern one-bedroom apartment runs $400 to $800, or towards smaller provincial towns, where comfortable apartments drop as low as $200. A full meal at a local turo-turo eatery, point at the trays, pay by the plate, costs $1 to $3, and jeepneys get you across town for pocket change most days. Healthcare in the major cities stays affordable and increasingly modern, with private hospitals in Cebu and Manila drawing patients from across Southeast Asia for procedures priced well below what they'd cost stateside. The retirement visa here, among the most established anywhere in Asia, requires a modest deposit rather than ongoing proof of monthly income, one of the more straightforward residency paths a person could ask for. What surprises most newcomers isn't the cost, it's the welcome. Extended Filipino families tend to treat foreign neighbors like honorary relatives within weeks of arrival, birthday parties, and Sunday gatherings that would take years to earn an invitation to almost anywhere else on Earth. A single retiree living outside the 2 or 3 priciest cities can comfortably land in the $800 to $1,200 range, a fraction of what the same comfort demands back home. Number 6, Panama. International living has favored this country for years running, and once the math actually gets broken down, the reasoning holds up under real scrutiny rather than just marketing copy dressed up as advice. A single person spends around $800 a month, excluding rent, and that's before Panama's famous pensionado visa discounts kick in, up to 25% off utilities, 50% off entertainment, and 20% off medical visits, once approval comes through. Panama runs on the US dollar, meaning zero currency risk and no watching an exchange rate quietly erode a fixed income month after month while you sleep. Boquete, tucked into the highlands at roughly 3,900 feet, delivers a permanent spring climate while the coast bakes in humidity down below, with household costs averaging $2,400 a month for a full lifestyle, rent, groceries, and utilities combined. Panama City delivers a genuinely first-world skyline and internationally accredited hospitals for anyone who wants urban convenience over highland quiet. The pensionado visa approval process can move in as little as 3 to 6 months, among the fastest timelines anyone chasing residency will find anywhere. And pension income from Social Security isn't taxed locally under Panama's territorial tax system. One less thing sitting on your plate come tax season. Number 5, Bulgaria. Bulgaria is the country most Americans couldn't locate on a map if you gave them 30 seconds. And it's exactly that obscurity that's kept prices from climbing the way they have across much of the rest of the European Union. Bulgaria sits in the southeastern corner of Europe, bordered by the Black Sea to the east, mountains carving through the interior, and a climate that swings from genuinely cold winters to warm, dry summers depending on which region you land in. Sofia, the capital, mixes Soviet-era architecture with a growing cafe culture and a metro system that stays cheap and reliable, and a one-bedroom apartment in the city center runs $300 to $500 a month. a number that sounds almost fictional next to any comparable European capital. Plovdiv, one of the oldest continuously inhabited cities on the entire continent, offers the same low costs paired with an even slower, more artistic pace of daily life. Healthcare here mixes public coverage with private clinics charging a sliver of Western European prices, and a routine doctor's visit rarely exceeds $20 out of pocket. Total monthly living costs for a single person, excluding rent, land around $550, among the lowest figures anywhere inside the EU's borders. As a full member state, Bulgaria offers freedom of movement across the continent once residency gets secured, and the process for non-EU citizens generally runs through a long-stay visa tied to steady income or a local business, considerably less bureaucratic than some of Europe's more competitive residency programs demand. Bulgaria doesn't tax foreign pension income under most circumstances, though as always, worldwide US taxation still applies, no matter which address ends up on your passport. Number 4. Montenegro. Tucked along the Adriatic coast in the Balkans, Montenegro has spent the past several years quietly building a reputation among Americans, chasing European coastline without the European price attached to it. The scenery alone does a lot of the heavy lifting. Dramatic cliffside towns like Kotor sitting inside a bay so narrow and steep it's often mistaken for a fjord, medieval old towns wrapped in centuries-old stone walls, and a coastline that shifts from crowded resort strips to nearly empty beaches within a short drive. A one-bedroom apartment in Budva or Kotor typically runs $400 to $700 a month, while inland towns drop that figure even further down. A full dinner out with wine rarely clears $20 for 2 people, and public buses connect nearly every corner of the country for a few dollars at most, no rental car required. Montenegro is still working through EU accession as a candidate country, which means visa rules run through national channels rather than a unified European process. It's worth knowing upfront if bureaucratic simplicity ranks high on your list of priorities. Healthcare access for residents runs through a public system supplemented by private clinics in the larger coastal cities, generally affordable though still developing compared to Western European standards. Total monthly costs for a single person land around $800, including modest rent, and foreign pension income generally goes untaxed for qualifying residents, an underrated financial perk for a coastline this photogenic and this underpriced. Number 3. Spain. Spain rarely gets enough credit for how dramatically it undercuts American costs, while still delivering a first-tier lifestyle wrapped around it. The overall cost of living runs 37% lower than the US, and rent averages almost half the American price, according to Numbeo, meaning a couple can live comfortably on $2,500 to $3,000 a month, depending on where exactly they land. Public healthcare here ranks among the best anywhere in the world, and private supplemental insurance for expats costs a fraction of a comparable American plan. Madrid and Barcelona have gotten noticeably pricier over the past several years. Real estate inflation has been real, especially along Barcelona's coast, but cities like Valencia and Malaga deliver that same healthcare and free education system at a noticeably lower price point. The non-lucrative visa is the standard entry route for retirees. It doesn't permit local employment, starts as a 1-year residency, and becomes permanent after 5 years of steady, uninterrupted living inside the country. Spain does tax worldwide income for residents, pensions included, though a tax treaty with the US prevents double taxation on the exact same income. Still, talking to a cross-border professional before the move isn't optional here, it's essential. The process rewards careful preparation, while missing documents or small mistakes can lead to delays. Number 2. Mexico. Nothing beats Mexico's single biggest advantage: sheer distance from home. Flights under $100 connect most major Mexican destinations to the US, and a 180-day visa-free entry window means you can test the waters on vacation time before committing to anything permanent, with no leap of faith required up front. A single person spends around $630 a month, excluding rent, cutting the baseline cost of daily life nearly in half before anyone's even negotiated rent down further. Lake Chapala and the town of Ajijic host one of the largest, oldest foreign retiree communities found anywhere in the world. With a spring-like climate that barely shifts across the calendar, while San Miguel de Allende offers colonial architecture and a more polished, artsy scene built around galleries and boutique restaurants tucked into old buildings. Healthcare in cities like Guadalajara and Merida is staffed by doctors trained across the US and Europe at roughly a quarter of the American prices for comparable care and attention. The reality is that safety isn't the same everywhere. It can change dramatically from one region to the next. The areas most popular with expats are generally known for being relaxed, friendly, and easy to settle into. They are established specifically because generations of Americans have already vetted and settled into them. But Mexico is a big, diverse country, and not every corner of it fits that same description. The temporary resident visa can lead to permanent residency after 4 years, and Mexico's territorial tax system generally leaves foreign pension income untouched at the border, with no local claim on money earned somewhere else. And finally, the number one country is Croatia. Croatia has quietly become the most talked about European destination for Americans over the past 2 years. And once you look past the postcard coastline, the reasons run far deeper than scenery alone. Croatia joined the European Union in 2013 and the Schengen zone more recently, meaning residency here opens up freedom of movement across most of the continent. A genuine advantage for anyone thinking beyond just one country long term. The Dalmatian coast delivers the kind of Adriatic views that used to carry an Italian price tag. Walled medieval cities like Dubrovnik and Split, islands you can hop between by ferry for the cost of a coffee, and a Mediterranean climate that keeps summers long and winters mild right along the water. A one-bedroom apartment in Split runs $500 to $800 a month, and inland cities like Zagreb, the capital, drop even lower while offering a walkable European city built around cafe culture and a compact, efficient public transit system. Total monthly living costs for a single person average around $900, including modest rent, still a dramatic cut from American spending, even along Croatia's priciest stretches of coastline. Healthcare runs through a public system open to residents, supplemented by private clinics in Zagreb and Split, charging a fraction of Western European private rates. Croatia's temporary residence permit for people with steady passive income has become one of the more accessible European pathways available today, and the country has invested heavily in digital nomad infrastructure, co-working spaces, high-speed internet, and a vetted visa track is built specifically for remote workers rather than funneling everyone through identical retirement paperwork. Foreign pension income generally isn't taxed for qualifying residents under Croatia's current framework, though a conversation with a tax professional before the move still saves far more money than it ever costs. And that brings us to the end of our journey. These countries prove that a new lifestyle and new opportunities can be found in many parts of the world. If you enjoyed exploring them with us, don't forget to like and subscribe and press the bell to get new videos. I'll see you next time.